Welcome back to the XDI Experience Live Show. I get goosies from that music every time. This is a very special show. The very reason I got involved in 3D Experience some time back is the exact same reason I love who we are talking to today. It's about a game-changing approach to innovation. Today, we're talking about a collective passion to get the world innovating. In a few moments, I am going to introduce you to a new, highly successful innovation approach via incentivized crowdsource engineering. But first, you see that down below? That is where you're dropping your comments. That is where you're dropping your questions. Please do not be shy. You are going to hear something new today, and it's something you need to think through in your mind and ask my guests questions as to how it all works. So let us jump right in. If you are an engineer anywhere in the world, or you have an idea or a concept that needs developing, then this is for you. We are talking glitch. Ready, set, go.
We want to take you on a journey to the future. A world where the smartest, most creative minds from all around the globe come together to tackle the biggest challenges on Earth, to imagine the impossible and change the world. That future is now. Born in response to a challenge to reimagine transportation, our loop is a global network, including some of the brightest minds on the planet. And through the power of crowdsourced engineering, we have created levitating pods capable of incredible speeds. It's an amazing leap forward, made possible by a bold, new, globally connected way of working, by a shared desire to create a better future for mankind, and the imagination to believe that anything is possible. And we mean anything.
Welcome, Saskia. Welcome, Brent. Welcome, Sufyan. Saskia, deeply embedded in project managing various innovations and founder of Glitch. How is life in Eindhoven? How is life in the Netherlands?
Life is good. It's summertime. We're having a nice summer day, and I'm just so excited to be here and talk some Glitch. So thank you for having me, Andrew.
Pardon me?
Thank you for having me, Andrew.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. How are the tallest people in the world, and how is arguably, according to you, the most innovative people in the square kilometer of Eindhoven right now?
Yeah, the smartest square kilometer in the world. Well, we're good. We're good. So yeah.
Good. Brent, fellow Glitch founder, how's Toronto?
Wonderful. Thanks again for having me. We probably don't have as nice weather.
Yeah, welcome back.
As Saskia is enjoying, but yeah, thanks again for having us.
Pleasure. And our very own Sufyan, XDI founder. How's Englewood, Colorado?
Great weather here. Summertime, very sunny and nice, and likewise very happy and very excited to be here and to talk about this very exciting topic called Glitch.
Good. So everyone, we are talking innovation and the challenges we see consistently around the world in making it happen. Let's start up by taking 3 or 4 minutes to explore some of the greatest problems from a micro business, small, medium, and large enterprises that they have in developing new ideas. Saskia, kick us off. Grab a minute, take it away.
So we are living in a fast-paced world. today's technology is outdated tomorrow, the world's knowledge is growing so fast that 90% of what we know in 50 years still has to be discovered in those 50 years. Can you imagine that?
No, so what you're saying is we only know 10% today of what we're going to know in 50 years.
Exactly. There's still
Okay.
90% of what we know in 50 years is still to be discovered. 10% of what we know at that time is what we know right now. So
Wow.
exciting times, am I right?
That is massive change and makes me feel unintelligent, but that's fine. I can live with that. Tell us more.
So we are facing more and more complex challenges on a global scale. And the thing with typical enterprises is that the most knowledge that they have is about their bread and butter, which makes sense. It's what they're really good at. It's what they excel in. But what if, to face those challenges, to move forward, they need to think outside of their core business, think outside of their box? Well, how do you know which areas to explore and what fits with your solutions? In my opinion, finding the right people outside of the core competencies is what will make or break a company in the future.
Got it. So think different, act different, be different. Brent, what's your take?
Yeah, I think maybe just building off something that Saskia touched on about the bread and butter of an existing enterprise. I think an often quoted example is that of Kodak, who had originally developed the digital camera back in 1975, but they decided to kill the project because they viewed it as a competitor to their core business, which was physical film and the chemicals to develop that film. So, typically what we see when companies are starting out, they're innovating and they're creative to find a solution to a problem that they've identified. But as they mature, their focus rather shifts to generating profits, and largely they do that by increasing operational efficiency. So there tends to be less of an emphasis and a focus on discovery, creativity, and innovation.
Yep. So fix the system. I actually remember it was a mentor of mine a few years back, basically says you need to work to put yourself out of business, because if you don't, someone else will. Sufjan, what's your take?
No, just to pick up where Brent left off, I mean, we work with a lot of different enterprises in the innovation sphere, and there's a couple of themes that always stand out. One is capacity, right? Like you could never have enough people to do a particular type of work to innovate. And the other thing is capability, right? So, how can you find the right talent to solve certain problems that you're trying to solve as a company? So we see a lot of these large enterprises, open up innovation centers. There are a lot of them around the world. I mean, we happen to be involved with a few of those in Silicon Valley. And but it's the same problem. It's, too many problems to solve and not enough, hours in the day and people to help solve those problems, right?
Exactly. Capability and capacity, as you say. Exactly. Okay, let's confront some of the fundamentals of how we solve these problems across resources, cultures, tools, methods. Let's just take another minute, everybody, to walk through what needs to be in place to fix these challenges. Brent, why don't you take it away?
Sure. Well, I think, I can largely speak to our experiences over the past 5 years in the collaboration and crowdsourcing space.
Yep.
But what we've seen is that when you bring together a diverse group of people, when you task them with a particular challenge, and when you give them constraints, incredible things can happen. And when I'm talking about constraints, I'm thinking largely in terms of time and resources. Excuse me. You don't want there to be constraints that are too stifling to the innovation process.
Yeah.
But when we are focused, when we have those constraints of time and resources, we have to focus and we have to become creative to solve those challenges. And I think that really, in our experience, is critical to the innovation process.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's also very interesting to find resourceful people, not just resources, especially when, for the last 20 years, other than a little bit of an 07, 08 blip, which was kind of subsidized, band-aided a little bit, is find people who've been through some tough times, been resilient, been resourceful, and found a way out of it. So I'm totally with you on that. Put some constraints in place, put them in a corner, and let them come out fighting and finding new ways of doing things. Saskia, what's your take?
Well, I agree with Brent, and to further build on that, I think it's about finding talent and giving them room to grow. So by connecting innovators from different backgrounds, different industries and locations, and then incentivizing them to work together, for which a competition is the best way to give someone an incentive. If you have to solve a problem and you don't know how, make it a competition, and I bet you will get your solution.
Yep.
So we stimulate people to think outside of the box, to work together, and then we facilitate and nurture this collaboration with the right tools, the right platform, and expert mentorship. And in this way, we believe that we can create a perfect storm to break the typical constraints and find new solutions to the problems we just discussed.
Got it. I love the idea of that kind of diversity and collaboration and different people coming together. Let the sparks fly when you put cross-functional, cross-cultural, cross-geographical together, different viewpoints. Picking up on that kind of different approach, Sufjan, what about you? I know you're going to come at this from a slightly different perspective, just given XDI's background. What do you think it is?
Well, I think honestly, like I said at the start of the show, this is pretty awesome, right? So to see a company like Hyperloop bring together 140 people on a subreddit group, go on to win an innovation award. This is organic, team building, organic ways of doing things. And on the other side, you see the competition that SpaceX held that actually helped accelerate the development of Hyperloops. And now we see a lot of different approaches to Hyperloop. So like Saskia called it, it's the perfect storm when all of these things come together. Just to bring it a little bit closer to home, we all know what Netflix is, right? So when Netflix back in 2009 was looking to perfect their recommendation engine that would recommend certain type of content to users, they went about it in a way that we're talking about today as a challenge, as a contest. They brought a bunch of teams, and an actual team won a $1 million award, and the rest is history. And obviously Netflix was able to use this out-of-the-box thinking to accelerate past its competitors. So yes, perfect storm when these types of competitions, you have, instead of one or two ideas within the company, you go out and create it as a competition, and now you have 100 or 150 ideas, and it just broadens and accelerates the company's innovation to a whole new level.
Got it.
If I could just add in on top of the idea of the incentives. There's the principle in economics that the $100 bill won't lie on the sidewalk for too long. You get what you incentivize. Someone is going to take the time to bend over and pick up that $100.
Yeah, got it. Good. Okay, so let's move on. Let's now pull it together and tell the world about Glitch. How did it all start?
So in a previous live event, you guys spoke about Hyperloop and how we've proven that innovation can be done via what we call the power of the crowd. Yep. Well, given our track record, we got requests from companies to come up with new ideas, new concepts or solutions to their most difficult issues. And I remember Brent and myself discussing this, and we said to each other, why would we want to keep this for ourselves? What if we make it interesting, open it up to the world, and make it a competition? And that was the start of Glitch. It's short for Global Innovation Challenge. That's exactly what it is. And we call this an incentive competition like no other.
Got it. So everybody in the Glitch, I'm not sure how you say it, is in a competition with a carrot and a stick. So you're the stick, are you? Do you have a stick, or is it just a carrot?
No, there's not a stick. There's mostly a carrot.
Okay, so incentivized to win. Got it.
Yep.
So Sufjan, just coming over to you. How did XDI get involved in the whole Glitch initiative company?
Yeah, to piggyback on what Saskia said, when I was first talking to Brent and I learned their story and the Hyperloop way of doing things, And then Brent started talking to me about this crowd engineering idea and platform, and it immediately resonated, with me and David, my colleague, and you and all the people that, at XDI, because we're deeply involved in a lot of the things that, our loop and Glitch is involved with. First of all, is new transportation technology. So our loop is making a hyperloop and a flying motorcycle, and we work with all kinds of companies and autonomous systems and flying taxis and all of these different cool things. And a lot of the common theme was basically all of these companies come to us and ask us for engineering resources. They can never find the people. They need to have 50 people or 200 people or 2 people. So the problem is always the same, this old way of doing things where I'm going to go and contract an engineer. And when Brent said, hey, these people could just have a competition and basically leverage what our loop did, a successful model, a proven model, and like Saskia said, make it open to any company and any consultant that would want to have access to it. It immediately resonated with us, and we're so excited to be part of it.
Great. So what does it actually do? How does it do it? How does it work? If I was a mega focused billionaire and wanted to connect 2 cities with a pressurized tube, how would I actually work with Glitch?
So every glitch is designed together with a partner and is customized to fit their needs. So indeed, imagining you're looking for a solution to create a new way of traveling using a hyperloop system. In this case, we would work together with you to design your custom-made glitch. So think about topic, duration, the maturity of your solution. Do you want an idea? Do you want a proof of concept? Do you want a full product? And of course, the price value.
Got it. So the incentive isn't always money?
The incentive doesn't have to be money. In fact, we encourage everyone to think also there outside of the box and think about a price that money cannot buy.
Okay. Understand? Yep.
So after the announcement of the glitch, participants can sign up as a team or as an individual entrant. So even if you have no team, you have no problem. These individuals will be teamed up based on their knowledge and their skills. And once the teams are formed, we launch Glitch on an online kickoff session. We provide training and resources along the way, including on online collaboration. So you learn from our loop's best practices. We host different workshops by experts throughout the Glitch, really to support and to nurture again that collaboration in that development. Yes. All the teams get the same information and are expected to submit at the same moment in time. And after submission, an expert panel will review their submissions, and the winning team will be announced in a live or in person, depending on how this whole situation goes forward. Okay. The winning team will be announced then.
So I get that there's this whole methodology, there's a system that the teams get kind of put into, and then they run through that. How do you go about the fundamental of installation of a startup culture into the actual team?
If I could maybe jump in and answer this one, I think for us, it's more about creating an environment that is conducive to collaboration and encourages cohesion amongst individuals, rather than us putting teams or individuals into a box and saying, this is the startup or innovative culture, you have to conform to it. Rather, we want teams to be able and individuals to be able to leverage, our experiences over the past 5 years, working in a collaborative and crowdsourced environment. And we want them to be able to leverage that experience for their own awareness and speed. But for us as well, we want to learn as well. What worked for us might be different for others. We want to see how teams and individuals adapt to different conditions, different constraints, like we mentioned, how they get creative to solve problems, as well as how they kind of organize within a team, to achieve those successes and solutions.
Got it. So that's culture, that's system. Where do you get the resources? How do you bring the resources to the table? How do you find the resourceful people that we touched on earlier?
Yeah, sure. Well, again, I think, we're building on our over 5 years of experience, and we want to provide that to teams and individuals, give them insights on what it was like from us to go from nothing and an anonymous group of strangers on the internet through the whole innovation process and developing our own prototypes and technologies, and then translating them from the virtual work to a physical, tangible, functioning prototype. So we want to provide that to our teams and our individuals. Largely that will come in way of mentors from RLoop and from Glitch that we're assigning to the teams, who will help them every step of the way through a competition. We're also bringing in subject matter experts to provide webinars or masterclasses on relevant topics. We also want to host workshops like Saskia had previously touched on.
Yep.
We have a few other means and ideas about how we want to deliver some of these resources, but I don't want to give too much away right now.
Okay.
So another reason to check out the website and stay informed on progress and updates.
Got
and
it.
of course, the tools and the environment that we want to provide teams to create that productive and cohesive environment is going to be provided through the XDI platform, and maybe Sufyan might want to touch on a little more.
Tell us, how does the platform fit into this?
Met a very wise man named Bernard Charles, very visionary CEO of Dassault Systems, and he always had this thing that he would say is using the platform as a business model, not just as a technology, but also to empower certain new business models. So we're very excited to use the 3D Experience platform to empower and power this new business model of crowd-sourced engineering. It's almost similar to where the RLoop team came from a subreddit group, the sense of having a community. So the 3D Experience platform offers, the online community offers obviously a lot of the tools inside of it that are more engineering, innovation centric, like 3D web viewing and collaborating online. So not only does it offer the community aspect, but it really complements it well with a lot of the engineering tools that these challenges and these contexts would be using to deliver these types of products. So very excited that it's online. It's available on any device. So people on the go can continue collaborating wherever they are on any device anywhere in the world. So
it's a really good point. If I could just emphasize that, like we were saying, it's important to bring in a diversity of people, and the fact that the platform is available on any device, is part of that. The plan to be able to bring in a diversity of viewpoints, opinions, educations, backgrounds. And focus the energy and the attention towards solving these kind of grand challenges. Yeah,
wonderful. Let me summarize. So basically, we're looking for an idea that means something in the world. We want to agree the outcome with that ideator, agree the incentive, because it is a competition at the end of the day. Ideally, that money cannot buy. So I don't know if that's a ride on the BFR or something. I don't know. Was that Elon on the phone to you just a minute ago?
Apologies.
Imagine being the team saying that, Netflix, the recommendation engine that millions of people are using around the world. We are the team that made that happen. That money can't buy, right? Those bragging rights. Money.
Well, to add to that, and that's maybe not per se the incentive, but that's at least something that I really learned over at RLoop. It's you create a lifelong friendship. I have worked together on the RLoop platform for over 2 years before I met the first member in person, and it was almost magical. You know each other, but you've never met, and still there is this connection, and that is also a prize on its own.
Yep, agreed. You can't beat it. Good. So basically, let's get those ideas together. Let's pull together an international diverse set of people and teams, put a few constraints around them, put them into a bit of a corner so they've got to come out innovating, slot them on top of the 3D Experience platform, flick the switch, mentor, coach, push, and let amazing results begin. So if you're a customer with an idea, or if you're a designer engineer hungry for a new challenge, how do I get involved in Glitch?
So we're in the middle of preparing our very first glitch, and although I can't tell too much about it yet, I can say that it's going to be a really good one. It's going to be really interesting.
Does it fly? Does it moves?
Some parts will move,
Okay.
which is intended. Some parts should not move as intended.
Okay.
But again, I can't divulge too much about it. But I'm really excited about it. I've already lost sleep about it. So you do not want to miss this.
Wonderful.
And, so if you liked what you heard here today and you want to stay informed, go to our website rglitch.com and sign up for a newsletter, so you will never miss a glitch again. And if you like the memes that we've been showing during today's reel as well, we are very big on memes. So follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter. You'll never miss a glitch meme again. And for organizations who are interested in sponsoring or partnering up for a glitch, email us at info@rglitch.com or send me a personal message and let's get talking.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thanks everybody. Let us jump to Q&As. That's why I've put my studious glasses on now to see what questions we've got for us all. We've got a question here from Michael Vigne. Michael, sorry if I've mispronounced your last name. How are you? Long time no speak. The question we've got here is, I would imagine that IP, insofar as it covers an inventive step encountered during development, would reside with the customer unless the innovation of IP was pre-existing and disclosed. Any views on that?
Well, I like Michael's view. The thing is, it depends per glitch. It always depends, right? It's a balancing act. If the participants own their IP, you will get a bigger incentive for people to join. But as a partner, you sponsor the glitch, so you also have an incentive to have at least part of that IP. So this is really in communication defined with our partners, and it will always be announced when we launch the glitch. So participants will know what will be the IP situation per glitch.
Wonderful. Okay, good. Next question I've got here from Joseph. What are the top 2 or 3 things you'd pull from your hyperloop experience?
I might address that one. I think 2 big ones come to mind immediately. First was that, and I know I've been kind of touching on it throughout this entire session, but when we get a diverse group of people together and we're all focusing our attention and our energies towards solving something, there is, little to no obstacles that we can't overcome. And we went from, like you said, a group of people who met on a subreddit online to building 1,200-pound magnetically levitated hyperloop vehicles. So incredible things can happen when motivated and passionate people come together, and I think you'll see that anywhere really. The quote that culture eats strategy, I think, is very apt here.
Drucker.
But another thing that I might say is one of the, I think, biggest accomplishments actually that we achieved was translating that work that we had done virtually and in the digital space into the physical space, where there were a lot of doubts about whether we would be able to achieve that or not. And there's, I think, generally a kind of concept that, whatever you're doing necessarily remotely is kind of in the domain of the digital and of the virtual environment. What we rather were able to do was take all of that work that we were doing digitally and manifest it physically. And I think that actually we found, certainly there were challenges there that we encountered, but at the same time, we found actually a lot of benefits to be able to do it in this way. So we had a very lean physical operation. We were able to physically manifest in close proximity to wherever we needed to be. So in this case, SpaceX was giving the facilities to test the vehicle at. So we were able to locate space in close proximity to there, assemble a team there to work on integrating and testing all of the subsystems. And that minimized a lot of the complexities in terms of logistics and supply chain for delivering the final product to where it needed to be.
Great experience. Sufyan, one for you. We've got here. Do I need to be trained how to use 3D Experience or CATIA? SolidWorks, I guess, goes in there as well.
I mean, no, honestly, no. It's the 3D Experience is, I mean, yes, you may need to be a little bit trained on how to navigate and post comments and such, but for the collaboration piece of it, very little training. Usually people are up and running within a day. No, you don't need to use CATIA. I mean, you could use really any CAD. This is not about the tools you use, but really about the outcome that we're seeking for, for these companies. But with that being said, obviously, with our collaboration with ArtGlitch, we do have packages for teams and companies, and that's just part of kind of the whole infrastructure that we put together. And what XDI brings to the table is the kind of the technology infrastructure to make these glitches run successfully. But no, we're not tied to any tool, any vendor, anything of that nature, because we do want to concentrate on the outcome that we want to bring to customers, and that's the most important thing here.
Understand. Okay, good. The last question I've got here is, how do you incorporate recent college graduates, this is Josiah's engineers, to be part of the innovation process with the crowdsourcing engineering decision? Thanks, Josiah. Who wants to take that? Saskia, you want to take a run at it?
Yeah, sure. Well, in this instance, we can learn from the best practices within our loop. We are a very mixed group of people, including college graduates or still students, who are working together with experts to actually design and build new kind of technology. So you really see the student mentorship bond forming between people, and you really lift each other up. And that's also why within a glitch, if you sign up as an individual, we want to make sure that there's the right mix of people in that team. So not only place mechanical engineers with mechanical engineers who just graduated, or people who just graduated with other students, but really get a mix. And in that sense, get that synergy that you can create by having a diverse group of people together.
Great. Good. I think that is it. Everyone, big thank you. Really excited about this. It's what it's all about for me. So basically, if I was a group with a great idea, what have I got to lose? Get involved in this glitch process and glitch company. I don't want to work with you crazy people. I got to say, where you've come from is wonderful. I'll bring you my idea and let's make it happen. Saskia, thank you. Brent, thank you. Sufyan, thanks ever so much. Have a great week ahead.
You as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Pleasure. Thanks. Okay, everybody.